I want people to become part of the solution by becoming more informed. Tell me about your sex crime.
Okay. One night when I was drunk, actually drove home drunk too. I make it upstairs and into the house, and my wife's mad, and I go in, grab something to eat real quick, and go in the room, and I was sick, like to my stomach. I thought I was gonna throw up, and just wanted to go to sleep. And then she had to take off though. She had an appointment to go to. You know, the room was starting to spin a little bit. I heard a knock on the door. One of the kids said that the other one wasn't doing their homework, and so I asked her to send her in there so I could talk to her. And so she came in the room, and I told her to shut the door, and she climbed on the bed, and we started talking about the importance of doing homework, you know, and how important it is to, like, you know, maybe take a short break, have something to drink, or how important it is to keep trying, and you'll build more over time, and it won't be like such a hard thing to do, you know. And it was really going well, and I felt really good about my homework speech, you know, and she was happy, and so I gave her a father-daughter kiss, you know. I said, give me a kiss, and we pecked on the lips, and she was my stepdaughter, and and she smiled real big, you know, sparkly eyes, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I really feel good about being a dad, you know. I said, give me another kiss. And then on the third time, when I said, give me a kiss, I kissed her with an open mouth while running my hand, like, over her pants, like up her leg and across her vagina. And
on the outside of the clothing.
Right. And it seemed like a couple seconds, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, you know, like, I was kind of shocked that I did that. And I sent her out of the room kind of abruptly, and next thing I know, it was morning, and I was confronted about something that my wife confronted some uncomfortability about what, you know, like, she was allergic to something, and she had an allergic reaction to something I had eaten or something like that, and then it started to come back to me what happened, and I denied it, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I tried to kind of sweep it under the rug, you know, and continue on with life, and just try to do better with my life, and, you know, be a better father, a better husband. But at that time, you know, things were already rough, so that was kind of hard too. So, and I just didn't know how to deal with it, so I tried to ignore it.
And then what happened? How did you end up getting in trouble?
About 3 years later, I met a gal. My wife and I were divorced, and I met a gal, and we started seeing a lot of each other, and my stepdaughter came over with my son, and the gal I was seeing ended up talking to her, and I noticed that I just felt there was an uncomfortability about it, so I went to check on him, and then it seemed like kind of a weird phase. So I don't know the whole mechanics behind that, but that kind of stopped, and then later on, I talked to my wife more about what was going on. I decided it was time to, like, confide in her about the past, you know. And
it's a little confusing right here. When you say your wife, you don't mean the woman you were seeing 3 years later.
Right.
You mean the mother of the victim?
No, I mean, the woman I was seeing 3 days later, I confided in her. And
3
told,
years later.
Or 3 years later, yeah.
So how did you end up getting in trouble? With the authorities, I mean.
Well, what happened was after I confided in the woman that I was with, I was leaving a lot because she would get drunk and irate, and we were drinking together and stuff, and that was my thing, to just remove myself out of the situation. And one day she got mad and said she was going to call CPS. She was mad that I was gone, and so she called CPS, and then the investigation came underway.
So she reported you to Children's Protective Services?
Right.
About 3 years after the actual experience?
Right.
Wow. And then what happened as far as the authorities were concerned? Did you get a little knock at the door? Or?
I don't remember exactly if her mom had talked to me about it or if CPS called me. So I came in for questioning. I just told them everything that happened. And I was out on bail for domestic violence, and then ended up going to jail on another supposed domestic violence. And then at that time, when he came in, the investigator questioned me in jail. And after the questioning, he's all, well, since you're in jail, we're going to charge you with such and such, and read me my rights. And
charged you while you were already in jail on your second domestic violence.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
by this time, how long is it after the original incident with your stepdaughter?
It's over 3 years.
Over like 4 years or like 3.5 years? Or?
I think around 3.5 or
And
so.
how old was your stepdaughter at the time of the offense?
She was 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened after you got charged?
After I got charged, I went before the judge for my domestic violence. I pled guilty to one, which I was guilty, and the other one they dropped. And so I kind of plea bargained on that one so I could deal with that while I was in there, and then have the felony to deal with, the felony charge. My lawyer told me it looks like you're going to get probation, and then so they sentenced me, and I went and finished a little more time for my domestic violence charge, and I got out on probation.
Well, when I say what did the judge say, I mean, what did he sentence you to?
Oh, he sentenced me to attempted lewdness with a minor under 14, and it was 2 to 10 years suspended sentence.
Suspended on condition
that I follow through with my probation conditions.
Are you still under supervision now?
I'll be on lifetime supervision. I am on lifetime supervision now.
Okay.
So.